Just going to offer one quick word just as a way of remembering St. Nectarios. Father Dimitri is going to speak the rest. St. Nectarios is remembered for many things in our lives. He's remembered for in liturgy. You will notice that the scripture passages have changed in the last few years. From the Gospels that would be read for any hierarch that of the an archbishop, and so we remembered him in this way, but. So that's relatively new when you consider that some of our saints we're commemorating from the 1st century that are, we're getting to the place where they're 2,000 years old. The scripture passages are still developing and growing. And the scripture passage that we read today was not the normal scripture passage. From the Beatitudes. When we read from the Beatitudes, normally we hear from the Beatitudes from the Gospel of Luke for a hierarch. Even on the feast day of Saint Nicholas, you'll hear we are reading the Gospel of the Beatitudes from the Gospel of Matthew. And there's a larger list of the Makari, right, the blesseds that are listed in the Gospel of Matthew than they are in the Gospel of Luke. We don't hear them in the Gospel of John. We don't hear them in the Gospel. Luke, we are hearing that the last, you notice where the gospel ended, if you were paying attention. The gospel ended at the place where it says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake." Right? Clearly is the reason why we are commemorating St. Nectarios. Righteousness' sake, and I heard a little bit about some jealous bishops and things like this, when I was young. What did I know St. Nectarios for? He healed everyone that I knew that had cancer. I'm not even joking. Everyone that I knew growing up that had cancer, he healed. His grave and to his tomb. Today, to this day, you can go to his grave and to his tomb, put your ear against the tomb, and you will hear a miraculous sound coming from it that sounds as if he is kind of putting. In fact, when I went on my senior trip and Father Dimitri like 4 of us, and we leaned into the tomb and we all heard it, and then we go, all right, which one of you did it? Because we got some jokesters at the seminary, we got some people away from the we all had to show our hands, then lean in, and we're like, oh, okay, this is really happening. of Egina, where he's buried in the monastery there, St. Nectarius, where for that island was the resurgence because his entire life, while he was being persecuted, he never, and I can say this, never but never turned it into say, oh, you are this or you are that. Never pointed fingers. The one that we have here in our bookstore is called Know Thyself. It's translated by our former priest, Father Daniel Rogich. Everything was about getting us back to the place where we would love God first. Hierarchs of the church at that time. While that's happening, Christ and that's a witness that we sorely need in this day and age. While we are feeling like we're the only ones who think a certain way or believe a certain way or love a certain way or have compassion a certain way. And we feel like that there's got to be a better way, but I don't think there's anyone else doing it like this. Not even defiance. It's not even he was not in defiance of anyone. Defiance means you stand there and say, I disagree with you, I'm going to stay right here. No. St. Nectarius heard that he was being sent away, and what did he do? He went. He shouldn't have. It's the truth. He shouldn't have gone anywhere. And to those people who he quote unquote abandoned, he didn't abandon them. When your obedience leads you away from the thing that you feel you're called to do. Why? Because he never left Christ. And he never left the church. Keep these things in mind when we remember how a world his compassion, his love, his mercy, his kindness, his willingness to think of Jesus Christ only you want to take all the miracles away, you are still left with an individual that you can follow. And there are volumes of his miracles. So just honor him today. Serve him today. Allow for our attachment to worldliness in different ways. And God is working. So, may God continue to bless you and guide you. Thank you to Father Dimitri, Moraitis, Stavros, Stathi, everyone for being a part of this today. It is